Hi, I'm Dr. Sandy Martin from All Star Family Chiropractic in St. Joseph, Michigan. You can check us out at allstarfamilychiropractic.com. And tonight we're talking about the 3 T's: traumas, thoughts, and toxins. Now, why is this important to you? Because it's affecting your life, and it's affecting your health, and it's affecting how you function, your productivity at work, how angry or happy you are. It affects your moods, your hormones. It affects you. So let's talk about some causes and what's actually going on. So as a chiropractor, I look to the spine and I look at the vertebrae because they're housing these nerves. You see these little yellow things coming out of the holes right there? These are the nerves that connect to your brain. They allow your body to function and do what it's supposed to do. Take a guess, put it in the comments. How many of your nerves, and percentage-wise, do you think can actually send pain signals to the brain? How many nerves can actually feel pain? Go ahead, guess. Is it 50%, 100%, 5%? You're correct if you thought between 10 and 15%. Only 10 to 15% of our nerves can actually feel pain or conduct the pain signal to the brain so that you feel it. All the rest are about function. So our health is based on how we function. So what happens is our body is meant to move and glide, but these bones, these vertebrae, they slip just a little bit. We're talking 1 to 6 degree turn. That's it. But that's enough for it to get stuck sometimes. And when that happens, they don't glide as easy. And this creates friction in a bad position for the joint called malpositioning. So what causes this? That's what we call the 3 T's: traumas, thoughts, and toxins that I have written on the board right behind me. Traumas are also the physical, the usually external forces. Like gravity is a force on us. So posture says everything. Hippocrates said, look well to the spine for the cause of disease. So it's affecting our nerves, right? If our posture is down, or if we're shoulders forward, head forward, this is going to put more stress on the nerves in our spine. What other traumas might you face? Give me some examples. Post them in the comments. What traumas have you gone through? Even being born is a trauma, by the way. So babies can face trauma from the uterine contractions. Then when baby's head comes out, doctors usually try to pull on a little bit to assist in the baby coming out. Learning how to walk becomes a trauma. In fact, the average 4-year-old has fallen 4,000 times. So just learning how to walk, and those little bumps or falls become jarring, and they can create a bone to be just slightly misplaced, what we call a subluxation. What other traumas? Sleeping, driving. Oh, posture while driving. Look at this one. Arm up, puts a slant in my shoulders right through here, changes the curve in my back, which then changes the amount of stress on the nerves and how our body functions. What else do you got for me? Sleeping, sleep position. Okay, if you're a stomach sleeper, just stop. Seriously, stop. Because as soon as you're a stomach sleeper, I gotta put Charlotte down. Right? If I'm laying on my stomach, what you're gonna have to do is turn your head in order to breathe, right? So unless you have a special bed with a hole in it for your face to go straight, don't sleep on your stomach. Because as soon as you do this, you're creating that twist in your neck. Again, putting pressure on the nerves. Mild pressure. It might feel comfortable to do that, but ultimately you're leading up to damaging the curve of your neck, which then puts more stress on your nerve. So it might be fine for 5 days, 5 years. But the big question is, if you knew you were going to live to be 100 years old, what would you need to start doing differently today? Because are you going to keep doing the same habits so that when you do hit 100, because it's the fastest growing population right now, are you going to be broke, crippled, and alone? I hope not. So what are you going to do differently today? So learning about the traumas that we are choosing to put ourselves in. So when you're driving, you should be both up or both down, right? Some teacher, someone will probably tell you 10 and 2, right? Or 3 and 9, whatever. But balance, that's everything we're looking for, balance. How about crossing your legs? Anyone do that one? Sitting on a wallet, especially the guys. Imagine what this does. So here's your sit bones on the spine, right? If you got a wallet and you're sitting on it, it's gonna put this tilt right in here. It might be a thin wallet. It's still gonna put a tilt in it, which then creates the spine to go backwards because we have the riding reflex where our eyes want to be level to the horizon. So even like this, what I look for as a chiropractor is a contracted leg, so what's called the short leg. The leg's not actually short physically, but because the muscles have contracted, when someone lays face down, one leg draws up short. And it's because of this. You can have even a kink in your neck, and I'll exaggerate here. But if you have a kink in your neck, it's then gonna have the righting reflex, right? So we wanna go level to the horizon. So it goes like this. Now I have a higher shoulder. Now when I walk, I'm gonna pull everything and I'm walking, limping on one side. So this is easily corrected with regular chiropractic care and being more mindful about the traumas, thoughts, and toxins we are subjecting ourselves to so that we have less things to adapt to and can live our best lives. That's what this is all about. So what other traumas am I missing out on? Falling on a bike. Sports. Car accidents, that's a given one. Did you know it only takes 5 miles an hour in a car accident, like a rear ending, to have a whiplash injury that can be permanent for life? 5 miles an hour. So we ask all our patients, like, hey, what car accidents have you been in? They're like, oh, nothing big. No. We want to know even about the little fender benders because they make lasting effects that puts more stress on your spine and your nervous system. So I'm sure you guys can come up with much more traumas too. So the next thing I want to go to is thoughts. And now emotional thoughts. This is the probably biggest stressor in today's world and the most overlooked. We ignore this, especially in America. We are meant, or we are taught, to go, keep up, to push forward. And it doesn't matter, especially as women, take care of everyone else first before we start taking care of ourselves. And that's not good. We have to break that cycle. In fact, here's my overall view on that is, especially as a mom of 2 littles as well, is I take care of myself first. There's a lot of prep work I do in order to get this stuff done so that my girls are well taken care of as well. But what I'm showing them is that when I put myself first, I'm becoming the role model for them to become independent as well, to take care of themselves. I don't want them to fall in the pattern of taking care of everyone else first, and then their health is failing, they stop exercising, their diet fails, and it leads to all these health problems. That's not okay with me. And I hope that's not okay with you either. So even in that example that I gave about taking care of ourselves first, there could be an emotional charge. You might feel guilty. Like mom guilt's a real thing. Dad guilt might be a good thing too. We feel pressure from work, from deadlines, getting the job done. We feel pressure in relationships. We feel pressure even from like 2020 or wearing masks or vaccine or not vaccine, or the decisions we have to make today or who we're around and how that impacts other people is now creating levels that are astronomically high for suicide rates. What I'm really happy to hear is more and more people are seeking therapists, in which if you're in that category, seek a therapist. I think everyone should have some type of counselor or life coach that they can talk about this stuff with, because it's one of the things that are most overlooked. However, here's the part where it relates to your spine and your nerves. Now, if we are emotionally charged, we tend to get tense, right? And if those muscles are tensed up, well, guess what's attached to our vertebrae? Let me grab Charlotte again. So here we have our backbones and a muscle. My hand's the muscle. Muscles are going to be attached right here to that vertebrae, and if it tightens up, it can pull a bone out of alignment. Again, we're only talking 2 to 6 degree turn here. Very mild, but mild over time and continue to use in a mel position will create astronomical effects that leave you broke, crippled, and alone in old age. So I have patients that are telling me, oh, it's old age, and they'll come in with something like knee pain. Well, my right knee has to be replaced, doc. I'll be out for 2 or 3 weeks. All right, I get it. Why do you need a knee replacement? And they'll be like, well, old age, wear and tear. Great, how old's your other knee? So really think about this stuff. It's all about balance in life. Excuse me. So the last one we want to talk about is toxins. And you do have control more over this one, but some of it you can't even avoid. Just like in traumas and your thoughts, your emotions are your emotions. You should feel what you feel, but we have to be able to adapt and work with them. Our toxins, what we're putting into our body, whether it is what we're drinking. So that was last week's spinal workshop about what the heck are you drinking. The poisons they put in that, phosphoric acid, stay away from that stuff. Lots of different sugars, dyes. There's stuff in food, hormones that they're putting into meats, processed stuff with fatty oils that actually still have trans fat in them after at a certain temperature. It's not good, guys. Even air pollution is a toxin. The things that we're putting onto our skin, certain lotions have this stuff going into them as well. Can you grab me a water, please? So really watch what you're putting onto your skin. Your skin is your largest organ that can absorb stuff into your body. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Excuse me, guys. Thank you. So what I want you to do is maybe go through your cupboards for your food and for your lotions, your potions, your powders, your pills. Go start looking at the ingredients on them. And I want you to Google, or whatever search engine you want to use, Google the ingredient list. Not all at once, one at a time. And find out why it's in there and what it does, and ask Google, is this harmful? And it's going to show up what happens. Now, everything is on a scale. There's a spectrum, right? Of very harmful and not so harmful. And what it comes down to is there's only two types of diseases in the world: too much and too little. Yeah, some of it's safe in small quantities. But if we're really wanting to live our best life, are we really going to want to still be putting poisons onto our skin that can cause things later? Here's another thing I get. I still need more water. About genes. Well, my mom had thyroidism or hyperthyroid or hypothyroid. I'm probably going to have it. My sister has diabetes. I'm probably going to have it. Here's the deal. A gene cannot express itself unless given the proper environment. How did the environment happen? Hitting a certain threshold. And most of the thresholds are hit by when your stress level in your body is too high, right? Stress comes from trauma, thoughts, and toxins. So limiting our traumas, thoughts, and toxins actually allows us to function better, have a healthier nervous system. But they're not all unavoidable, right? So now that we have had a trauma, thought, or a toxin, what are we going to do about it? How do we know if we're subluxated or have misaligned bones? Well, you're going to have to get to a chiropractor. They're the only ones that are trained to locate, analyze, and correct these vertebral subluxations. And they're going to help you, hopefully, if you get a good one, they're going to have workshops like this that help educate you on how to prevent this stuff, on how to have better posture, on how to clear brain fog. Check out our whole list, guys, online that we can do more and more of. So if you ever want specific topics, put it in the comments. We'll discuss it. We want you guys to be educated because we believe, what do we believe? We believe water's good for you. And it stops me from coughing all over you. We believe a community that is well educated is more powerful. If you want to see a change in the world, you have to start with yourself. But you're only going to be able to change yourself if you're willing and open to learn and then apply it to your life. Because information without implementation leads to depression. And I don't need more people depressed. You don't need you to be depressed. The world needs you. And it needs you to be your happiest, healthiest self so that you're not a statistic that you're dying at the age of 55 because of a heart attack. 1 in 5 men have heart failure. 1 in 3 women will have congestive heart failure. That's not okay. 66% of those cases are preventable. Traumas, thoughts, toxins. This is our diet too, guys. What we're eating and what we're putting into our body. Exercise is a good thing too, get us stronger. It might be a trauma a little bit here and there, but it's well worth it, which is why you need a good, well-rounded team of healthcare providers. You need a doctor. Usually a DO is where my preference goes. I recommend a naturopath. I recommend a massage therapist, a dentist, a chiropractor, maybe an athletic trainer or a physical therapist. All of them need to stay in your wheelhouse for you to be your best self. Don't start with all of them. Just start with one. The one where you're going to get the most benefit from. A dietitian, maybe. Just get a checkup. Some people, especially with 2020, stop going to the doctor altogether. But you're important enough to make a change. Your change isn't just for you, because when you change yourself, you help make the world a better place. So I can't thank you enough for giving me the last 15 minutes to educate you. Thank you guys so much. Check us out, allstarfamilychiropractic.com.